Hi, everybody. Welcome to a Fern behind us.
Behind us. Actually, but it's a real Fern this time, so that's kind of cool.
Karen's going to be so jealous. Oh my gosh. So, this is episode 74. Um, and we are two of the four owners.
I'm of Bebop Winery.
Oh, yeah.
Two of the four owners of Bebop Winery. I'm Jesse.
And I'm Michelle, and we don't know what we're doing. But we are in our private pool at the house that we're renting in Bali. And so we wanted to make you guys all really jealous by drinking wine in a private pool.
Plus-
Well, you guys are cold and miserable back at home.
Plus, this is the first time I get to not wear a shirt, I guess, on the show.
Are you wearing pants?
I am, but you know, I was thinking if I had one of those like frog and toad, like old school swimming jumper things, that would be more appropriate, maybe. I don't know.
That's really funny to equate it to Frog and Toad. What about Borat? That's
No.
a look.
Yeah, it's a look. I don't know if it's ever advised,
Yeah,
you know, or advisable. I don't know.
Right? Well, last week we posted a video of Chris. And what's Chris doing this week?
Right?
Last
Another
week-
episode of What's Chris Padberg Doing this week.
Yes.
Or today.
Exactly. The video was about the vineyard expansion. If you haven't seen that, you can check it out on our Facebook page or YouTube. And of course, we have all of them archived through all of our social media too. But do you know what is Chris up to?
Today, I have no idea what Chris Padberg is doing.
We are 14 hours ahead of
Oh, I know what he's
Mexico.
doing right now. He's sleeping, for sure. It's got to be, what is it for here? So 2 a.m. there?
Sure.
Or, no. Yeah, 2
Yeah.
a.m. there.
Yeah.
Yep.
So last time we saw you, or you saw us, I don't know. We were drinking a Two Islands Shiraz, right? And so a really great question had been raised, actually, by our production assistant, Nolly Day. What is the difference, or is it the same, Syrah and Shiraz? I really appreciate her bringing this up because it's something that we forget to talk about.
We do, and we're just so used to it, but it's one of the first questions that a lot of people have. And it is, in fact, the exact same grape, just tends to be Southern Hemisphere calls it Shiraz, and Northern Hemisphere or older wine-growing regions call it Syrah, in general. In the United States, we kind of get to decide because we're a new wine-growing region, and I know lots of people that decide to go Shiraz because they're trying to make more of a Australian stylistically wine.
Right, which is a little bit higher alcohol, a little more bold fruit.
Yeah, and since we're like trying to be a little more European style, we call it Syrah, a la the French.
Yeah, exactly. And we are actually drinking a Syrah blend. This one is actually grown on Bali. So previously, the Two Islands is grown in Australia, frozen and shipped over and then processed in Bali. But this is actually grown in Bali.
And these guys are calling it Syrah.
Mm-hmm.
And they're also using it, it's blended with a grape called Malvasia Nero. And, everything we've seen here has always been Shiraz, and now this Isola is calling it Syrah.
Mm-hmm.
So, new regions get to decide.
Yeah.
I
And
guess, but there are places where you can't decide. It's mandated.
right, and it's like Zinfandel and Primitivo, same thing is going on there where it's the same grape, but stylistically, if you want it to be more of a higher acidity and southern Italy style, then you would call it Primitivo. And if you want one of those big, luscious wines like Napa, is famous for, then you'd call it Zinfandel.
Right.
But again, there's no steadfast rules for it unless you're in the old world countries.
Exactly. And there's lots of grapes like that. Fosco has a different name in certain places.
Oh my gosh.
Sangiovese has like
A gazillion.
15, 30, 100 names. I don't know.
I have a fantastic book at home that's about this big that's just called Grapes, and each grape has a paragraph about like this, and it's tiny print of all the different names that it's been known by from the
Right.
beginning of when it was first found or talked about. So that goes back, eons in history.
And most of those, I believe, they're in certain regions they're still used, right? I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
if they're listed there, um,
Yeah, there's reference
Yeah.
to it in a small area or something like that, and that's what you'll have to call it in order to talk to the locals.
yeah.
Um,
What do you think of
so-
this wine?
Well, I was just gonna say, so I think that this is actually really nice. It's not flawed. It has a little bit of a rough oak element to it.
I can't read the back, but it looks like maybe 21 months, but I can't tell for sure. Right there.
Oh,
But I could be
yeah,
wrong.
that's not a language that I can
No.
read, so that could also be their address. I don't know.
Oh yeah, that's interesting. But it says minimum something, blah blah blah. So.
Oh yeah,
So
okay. Yeah, yeah.
thinking,
I
potentially-
like
and
it.
I'm,
Yeah.
I'm tasting it, so I'm agreeing with myself a little bit.
Yeah, no, totally. And so one of the things that I think is really interesting about these wines is that generally speaking, they're not flawed.
Yeah.
And so that has been really impressive. And that is actually one of the questions that was repeatedly asked from us was why were we so surprised to find wine on Bali and that it was good? Do you want to take that one?
All right. So typically, I've noticed, and it's been it's not this is not a hard fact or anything
It's
like that.
just your
but
own opinion.
my own opinion and my own what I've seen tends to be the case is new wine growing regions start out with more amateur-y winemakers before somebody who really invests in the winemaking and pumps money into their winemaking and stuff like that before they start noticing the region or whatever. So you tend to have this kind of slow growth curve of it takes a second before you get quality wines started in a newer region generally. There's
Well, and
always
then there's just
always
the
some that are better
climate.
and worse all the way along, of course. And then
Climate's a big one.
And then
so
the-
that's
yeah.
why we were shocked, is
We-
because it's a
exactly.
hot, humid
Yeah.
island.
exactly, and
That's not usually conducive to growing.
the tropics is not. Grapes are generally or traditionally have been a crop that's grown in a four-season climate. There's there's a temperate zone that's not the tropics. So it's pretty rare still to find grapes growing in tropical areas, and especially doing well. Like there's some weird grapes that aren't usually made into wine.
Right? Or they're
But-
making wine, but it's out of pineapple. And,
Right, right.
Hawaii
Cake
actually
Hawaii, yeah. I was
has
gonna
a
say.
great one that people love, and it's kind of a thing to go there and have the pineapple wine.
It's like Volcano Winery. I can't remember. It's halfway
Yeah.
up the volcano, so they get pretty cold though up there too.
Oh,
But they
that's
don't grow
interesting.
grapes either.
Yeah, yeah.
That I know of.
Maybe that's where we have to go next.
Exactly. So, but I've known for years that Brazil is making great sparkling wines, and they're doing.
That's so true.
And that's they're growing in solid jungle, and it's all these jungle places or all these tropical places that are growing grapes are doing two harvests a year. And
So what do you think about that? Because that has been debated whether or not it really, in order to make a truly brilliant wine, the vine itself needs to go dormant so that it can re-energize and produce the kind of grapes that it would need for those really high rating kind of wines. Do you believe that, or
I would say there's probably something to that, but I don't think it would be impossible otherwise. Like I do feel like that's old school thinking and snobbery a little bit, right? Probably.
well, and maybe also a reflection of where those people live.
Right,
That
exactly.
They can only get one harvest per year, so of course they're going to say this is the best way, right?
Right, exactly. I mean, anything steeped in tradition is also tends to be not too stoked about the new processes and the new ideas. So I think we have yet to see if the finest wines can be made out of this, but I feel like damn good wines are being made out of it. So I
Absolutely.
don't see why it couldn't even get better. And as time goes on, I mean,
The only thing that I think is something that has come up, and expats that we have run into here complain a lot about, is the price point. So, they're all falling in the $20 to $30 range, which is steep. And really, this wine is a solid maybe 12 to 15 in my estimation. It's not the crap that you can get at home at the grocery store for under $10 for
No.
sure. It's
Better than
much
that.
more quality.
yeah.
But it is a little bit steep in price, and so I understand. A lot of the expats are from Europe, and so they're used to having access to incredible wines that these wineries are subsidized, and there's amazing incentive to create a lower price point for people to be able to enjoy the wine locally.
Yeah, and it just takes infrastructure, it takes time, it takes and government subsidies to grow grapes in Europe and make wines in Europe. So that's why they can afford to, and then also all the competition that's there. Here on the island, I don't know how many wineries there are, but it seems like 5 or 8. I don't know,
Yeah.
something 5-ish is what we've 4 maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I was thinking 7.
Yeah, it's
So
not,
yeah, I'm
there's
right there with you.
not that many, and so there's not that much competition, and the tourists coming here. I mean, the locals don't care about wine, so it's they're selling to tourists like us, and by and large, anyway, and or people on a fancy dinner or whatever, and they pay that.
Well, and the other thing too is the island has been shut down completely for 2 years without any tourism. And the more we talk to locals, the more we're hearing about these desperate situations. And that goes for wineries too. Everybody just had to hit pause. And for a tourist destination and an island that really derives most of its income from tourists.
Something like
It's-
70 or 80%.
Yeah,
So
it's been really, really hard. So they're really happy to see us. Hopefully you guys can find a way to come and visit too. We've got lots of tips if you want our amazing opinions. We can absolutely help you with that. So another exciting thing, we are going to tell you about some of the things that we've been up to, but I also wanted to make sure that we mentioned before I forget, something super exciting is we just won a gold medal at the Berliner Wein Trophy, which is incredibly prestigious. And only the top 30% are awarded a medal. So being awarded a gold is phenomenal, and it's for our Montepulciano. So
Yay.
cheers!
Cheers.
Cheers back at home, Chris and Lily.
Heck yeah.
So exciting. We are just absolutely thrilled.
Absolutely.
It's so amazing. So if you are back at home and have the opportunity, make sure to get online and order it, or stop by our tasting room and get some more.
Montepulciano, I'm sure it'll be sold out soon.
I know.
Or who knows? I don't
hope
know.
not before I get back.
What, I don't even remember. I have no idea how much Monte we
I think it's 24.
uh,
Oh, how much we have?
how much we have left.
Oh, I don't know.
I think we have a lot. I feel like this is a new vintage. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is.
It'll be in stock for a second. But order it right away anyway.
Yeah. And so then a little update what we've been doing. We did move to Ubud, which is a city in the jungle.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what you're seeing around us at our house.
Yeah, everyone. And what you can probably hear in the background here and there.
We
We have this cool little house with a separate little master suite where we're staying. Denali's in the main house with our own koi pond and a little breakfast under a breakfast nook, I should say. And then the swimming pool and our own garden, jungly garden.
Oh.
And
It's amazing.
It's so
we are
cool.
so spoiled. And the food is incredible. We're on this adorable street, and I mean, you really can't ask for more.
Yep. And there's monkeys here.
Oh my God, there's monkeys here. So, of course, one of the famous things to do in Ubud is to go to the monkey forest right in town, and we were able to walk to it. And on the walk, you're cruising past monkeys. They're brushing past you like nothing. They're sitting on the sidewalk, hanging out. They're carrying their babies around. It's
Tiny little babies,
really
tons
good.
of tiny babies and medium babies and older babies. It's pretty sweet.
It's really a trip, and the forest is incredibly beautiful, and the guides, monkey guides.
Monkey
I don't know what to.
They're call them park rangers or something.
Okay.
That
They help you with the monkeys, so if you want to have pictures, then they feed the monkeys so that then they will sit on you. And you can take
calmly,
pictures.
hopefully, yeah, right.
Yeah. Which they were so docile and really, it was a fun experience. And then we decided that was so much fun. We're gonna go to the other monkey forest, which is outside of Ubud, and you're supposedly gonna have a different experience with the monkeys. And yeah, it was very different. They're a little more aggressive is the nice way to put it, but we were jumped by monkeys. They came out of nowhere. They were running like full steam ahead. They're big and heavy, and they scale you and sit on your head. It's really terrifying.
I'm sure there's pictures on our Instagram and
Oh,
Facebook
yeah.
and all that. Growing up, Chris and I had our parents inherited two monkeys from this ex-school teacher who took them out of a classroom back in the 70s and 80s. They used to like maybe have monkeys in the classroom or whatever, and then they decided that's kind of cruel, so these monkeys were kind of like on retreat, and our family ended up with two of them. One of them was super skittish, but the other one would hang out on you sometimes.
But they were little. What kind of monkey was that?
Those were squirrel monkeys.
Yeah,
And
cute,
so-
right? That's cute.
So growing up, Chris and I, had that for years and years, like 10 years or something. We had these monkeys before they finally died of old age or whatever. But it felt a lot like that. I was actually pretty comfortable with these monkeys, except for when they were just like, I didn't want them like all to like jump on me and and I didn't mind having one if it was being calm and stuff like that. But I don't know. It's still nerve-wracking because it's a wild animal,
Yeah, and I mean, we were just walking into this forest. We were the only people there other than the guides. And this big male monkey just charged Jesse, ran up and then sat on his shoulder. Now, that was a better experience, I think, as well, because it sat on your shoulder.
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell, but then this monkey jumped from him onto me. I'm busy taking photos, like, isn't this so cute? And then it jumped onto me and on my head. Like, why on my head? And grabbed my forehead. I mean,
Well, they got to hold on to something.
it was so weird. They do have soft little hands, but they also have nails, and that's real weird. And then the guides are like, oh, lower yourself, open your hands so that they see that you don't have food. And then they coaxed the monkey off. But, I mean, you can't just grab the monkey and pull it.
No, yeah, you do not touch the monkey. It'll bite you.
Yeah,
And
so you're just at the
that'll-
monkey's mercy.
That'll send you in the hospital for sure. For sure. And the fangs on these suckers.
Oh
are
my god, they're
huge.
so big. So these are macaque, and they're big. And so then I'm deeply shaken by this experience, and the guides are like, it's okay, let's keep walking. It'll be fine. And then a monkey comes out of nowhere and runs up the back of our daughter and climbs on top of her head. So being charged from behind is terrifying.
Also, that first monkey jumped from you onto her after.
Oh, that's right.
Jumped on me onto you and you onto her.
I was petrified. I was just standing there shaking.
And we weren't right like this far away. We were like
Yeah.
6 or 8 feet away from each other.
Yeah, like I thought I was a solid distance from monkey jumping. No. And then this other monkey came out of nowhere and scales Denali, sits on her head. She's screaming. And then the same thing happened. It jumped onto me and onto my head. I'm like, yo, get off my head. I don't know what is going on. And so it was really nerve-wracking. And I think I have PTSD.
I thought it was awesome.
I know,
want some more
Jesse's
of that.
weird. Yeah, I'm now like, I'm afraid of going to the docile one or walking down the street. I'm like, I didn't know that they'd like just attack you from any angle.
They're just being
Uh,
Although they did try to take Denali's earring the first day.
Oh,
Anything
yeah.
sparkly, like you have to
we
be
just
pretty
figured
careful.
they were small,
Little
but
diamond studs or whatever.
yeah. No, it tried to rip it right out of her ear.
And immediately, like 5 minutes, or the first monkey we came into contact with, it like immediately went for her earring.
Denali's raising her hand. Yes, my dear.
Just for the record, I'd like to say that I'm not an idiot. We knew we're not supposed to take shiny objects, but the earrings are literally embedded in my ears. So, just wanted to
Nice.
clarify that I'm not a moron.
Yeah, well, and Monique, I'm sorry, that's not her married name anymore, but she was saying that when she was in Ubud, a monkey ran up to her on the street and yanked her sarong off.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Sweet.
So there's more stories to come, I'm sure. We're here for a full month. So we'll keep trying the wines and telling you guys adventures. You're welcome to keep following us on our various
Social media.
Instagram. You can follow me personally if you want to see a little bit more of the monkey madness. And then next week we're going to be here again, so we'll try to do another live one. Maybe we'll look into the local beers, which is kind of fun. There's
Interesting.
some really interesting ones. And we'll also talk chocolate because Easter is coming up. Easter's. And so maybe I'll be able to get Lily to play along and put together some snippets of how she makes chocolates.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Right? I keep trying. I keep trying, guys. I know you want it. I'm trying. Well, anything else?
I guess not.
I guess we just have to luxuriate in our pool some more, so we'll see you later.
Cheers, you guys.
Cheers.